Yaggayoo! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Frizzy, aka Sylvsz. You know the deal. I'm creaming my hands first because I'm going to be going through some books and dry hands are stale. Plus this COVID thing got me washing my hands so often. Right, so I am doing a video today on my library book haul. I've been telling you lot, believe in your library. You hear this? So I went and collected a whole heap of book because you want me to be sitting at home bored. You know, nobody got time for that. We ain't got time for that, we're finna read. So I've got a mixture. I've got a couple of educational, and then I've got some good old legendary books. And you know when I've got a little bit of everything. So let me just start, basically. I started off with Toni Morrison, Home. I haven't read, so I've read Toni Morrison's, I've read one book. I've got to admit, only one book. I've read Beloved and I absolutely love the book. I read that a couple months ago. It was an audio book, which I'm a bit new to, but I really loved it. And Toni Morrison voiced it herself. She's an American literary giant, big thing. She was an OG. So I've got Home. What is Home about? Do you want me to tell you what it's about? I don't know what it's about. An angry and self-loathing veteran of the Korean War, Frank Money, finds himself back in racist America after enduring trauma on the front lines that left him with more than just physical scars. Okay, so he's revisiting his memories from his childhood and the war, and it's, I think, about him discovering his sense of self, etc., etc. I like how Toni Morrison writes. She is not afraid to leave you feeling confused and feeling confused like how characters are. So you go through your own journey with the characters, which is what I picked up in Beloved. And when I've spoken to people about Toni Morrison, is the idea that it seems to be a general thing. Also, she's badass. I read this interview, I think it was with an Australian journalist. And basically, Toni was notorious, for writing her books about mainly black characters, simple as point blank period. And the author, the journalist asked her, she said, you know, when are you going to start writing books about a majority of white people? And she said, girl, do you know how inherently racist it is for you to be trying to check me? She basically G-checked her for the woman trying to check her. And I was like, I have to take notes. I've got to take notes. So we're going to be reading this. I was speaking recently and I was saying that I don't feel that I've read enough books by Chinese and Japanese authors. So I had to sort myself out and fix that. So I just read a book called Birthday. It's a tiny short story. It was an online one and it is by Haruki Murakami. So I picked up a couple more books, After Dark, and I picked up After Dark, it turns out, is all I picked up. I thought I picked up something else, but that's another story. So what I want you to do is I want you to focus on, the midnight hour approaches in an almost empty all-night diner. Marie sips her coffee and glances up from a book as a young man, a musician, intrudes on her solitude. Both have missed the last train home. This sounds a bit kinky still, you know. I'm gonna have to get back to you on what this is about. After Dark. The cover suggests that there is something kinky going on. I love a good kinky book now and again, ain't gonna lie. Right, this book is what I'm currently reading. Absolutely love it. It's called Roots and Culture and it's by Eddie Chambers. And it's about the cultural politics in the making of Black Britain. So I'm wanting to do some further studying. So I want to understand, I know that I'm Black British, identify as being Black, I'm a Black woman, I'm British, but I want to understand a lot about how the term Black British came to be and the contribution of people that came to England. I don't know if you're familiar with the Windrush generation. In England, there's been a big Windrush scandal where a lot of people have just been treated cheeky by the English government. I don't even want to be ranting about the English government, but they've had a lot of issues. They don't know how to treat people as pick me sometimes. But yeah, so that happened. But what I like about this is I learned in terms of people that came from Jamaica, Barbados, the smaller islands as they call it, how when they came here, in terms of the first generation that came here were, you know, trying to really assimilate being British, grateful to be in England. So they called England the motherland. So they believed when they were in Jamaican places, because they were British colony, they believed that they were British. And then they had a harsh reality shock when they came to England, and the white people then didn't really want them there. So just like really understanding the history, but also understanding the depth of the arts, the culture. It touches on Rastafarianism. Rastafarianism. It touches on Rastafarianism, Haile Selassie, and a lot of concepts in terms of going to the chosen land, the promised land, and just really shows you the structure as to how Black Britishness came to be. I'll be loving the book. I'm taking header notes, so it's taking me a while to read. So Maya Angelou, I absolutely adore her. I've just finished reading Still I Rise, which is her poetry collection. I've also read All God's Children Need Travelling Shoes. I probably ain't saying it right, but I read that book, cried. I absolutely loved it. So that book was part. So Maya Angelou has written, she's got a whole long autobiographical collection of books. So I wanted to start from the beginning and read it through chronologically. So I'm starting with I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, and this starts with her childhood. I don't want to give too much away. I've read about 2 chapters, but it's banging. So okay, Maya Angelou, she's got 7 volumes of her autobiography, and they are a testament to the talents and resilience of this extraordinary writer. Loving the world, she also knows its cruelty. As a Black woman, she has known discrimination, extreme poverty, but also hope, joy, achievement, and celebration. The way that she writes just speaks to my soul. And I'm guilty of a lot of the time I have not read books from people of different generations because I felt, in terms of on a personal level, would I really relate to them? You know, times have changed. But no, don't sleep on that stuff, and do not sleep on Maya Angelou or Toni Morrison at all. They have so much substance. You know, when you talk about queens and crowns, these are the people that we're talking about. I've got another academic book. It is called The Continent of Black Consciousness, and that's the history of the African diaspora from slavery to the present day. Like I said, I'm just trying to understand more from an educational point of view, an academia point of view. A lot of terms, a lot of theoretical knowledge. So yeah, the writer, her name is Erna Brodbar, and she was born in Jamaica in 1940. So she's a sociologist. She writes a lot about Jamaica, the children of Jamaica. She's a study of the yards in the city of Kingston, the perceptions of Caribbean women. So I think she lectures all over the place, but a lot of her lectures cover on slavery, and she covers a lot of the things. She covers a lot of people like Marcus Garvey, George Padmore, and these are influential Jamaican people. So I'm just trying to get my knowledge up. This is the book that came out this year, and I was trying to beef to find this book, and I've got it. This is by Angelou, and it's called Braised Pork. What is it that... Yeah, listen, this woman, she comes home, she finds her husband dead in a bathtub, and then she got to figure out who, what, where, when, like at what time. And then listen to this. So next to her husband is a piece of folded paper, a sketch of a strange creature from his dream. He's left her no other sign. So now she's got to go figure out who, what, where, when. That's a matter. But like I said, I really wanted to focus on books set in places like Tokyo, and like I said, Chinese and Japanese authors. So I was recommended this author, so I picked up this book here. I just feel like my things are very thick. Jesus. New Daughters of Africa, again. So this is an international anthology of writing by women of African descent. I really don't have much to say about what this is, but it's African women writing and celebrating their culture internationally. It's a very tick. You know, you've got like slim, thick, fluffy. This book is very tick. Jesus, how many pages? 800 and... There's a lot going on, but I plan to read a lot of it. I can't guarantee that I'm going to finish it, but I'm going to read a lot of it. Okay, so I think... So it's edited, sorry. How can I forget the woman? I'm so sorry. It's edited by Margaret Busby. I need to learn how to spell people's names, pronounce them, because this is very rude. But she is a major cultural figure in Britain and around the world. She was born in Ghana and educated in the UK. So she became Britain's youngest and first black woman publisher when she co-founded her company in the late 1960s. Big things. I'm gonna read this book. Very heavy. I feel like I should put it on a coffee table. It's a bit mad. Yeah. I think I might break the thing. Last but not least, my fave, Dorothy Comson. I absolutely love this author. She is British Ghanaian. She lives in Brighton, so a lot of her books are based, the locations are based in and around Brighton, which is really refreshing because a lot of the time things are popping in London. So it's nice to take your mind out of London to Brighton. FYI, it's not that I don't like Brighton. If you are not British, do not live in England, Brighton has pebbles. You know, like pebbles. There's no sand. Pebbles. So I have a love-hate relationship with Brighton, but the fish and chips are very nice. They're very fresh. Anyway, the book. So this is called All My Lies Are True, and this is a sequel to The Ice Cream Girls. The Ice Cream Girls is a mazza. Someone got pop off. Someone went... A lot happened. I don't want to be... Shall I ruin? Skrrr. So, the Ice Cream Girls. One man, dead. Two girls. Two teenage girls. One goes about her business, lives their life. One is in jail for a murder that she's saying that she didn't commit. They buck up. They come in 17 years later. Who killed him? One did time. She said she never killed him. The one that didn't do time, she reckons she killed him. But I didn't kill him. Hocus pocus, there was a lot going on. But no, it focuses on each of their stories and the lead up to this man getting pop off. Very intense. But if you read Dorothy Comson's stuff, they're thrillers, they're intense. When I think of thrillers, a lot of the time I think that, I don't know, I don't fully interact with all of the characters. I'm more invested in the storyline, if that makes sense to you. But with Dorothy's books, I'm rooting for the characters. At that point, I was like, just pop off the madman, let him die, it doesn't matter who killed him. But this, so at the end of that book, we found out who popped him off. I was very interested to know. So this is the sequel. I can't imagine Mum's face when I tell her, when I start to explain what I've done and why I had to do it. My phone starts to flash with a silent incoming call, the SOS I was desperate for. What happened? What's happened, he asks. I thought there'd be comfort in his voice, but no. It makes it real, makes it terrifying. He's at my flat, I whisper. I think I killed him. Listen! Can we zoom in? We're gonna zoom. Imagine all of these, so on pretty much every book of Dorothy's, there is a black woman, a black girl. For people, it's like, what's the big deal? Every book I read as a child, where was the Browning? Where was she? Where art thou? Where was she? Nowhere to be seen. So Dorothy Comson, on a personal level, was one of the first authors that I read who unapologetically wrote about people with their kinky curls and their dark skin, and when they're talking about tall, dark and handsome is not the white man with brown eyes and brown hair, the Italian tan guy. No, he is tall, dark and handsome. He's a Kwesi. He's a tall, dark and handsome man, you feel me? So yes, I'm reading a whole bag of books. And more, if you holler at the libraries, they order books. The new books that are coming in, they order them. My library, so usually when it's not during lockdown, you can reserve a book and you have to pay £1 to basically sort of hold the book and get it sent to your branch. I don't personally like that, because why do you want to pay £1? But £1 is better than if you don't have the money to go and buy a brand new book. So it works. Also, I find a lot of the time, even though I have a cute little bookshelf, which is running out of space, some books I don't actually reread. I've got a couple of authors, a lot of Dorothy Coomson's books I will reread after a couple years, but generally I don't make a habit of rereading books. It has to absolutely bang for me to be like, I'm coming back to you. But a lot of the time, I just don't do it. But I'm a bit like Drake. What's he say? Sound like you gotta hit it once. I gotta read it once. But yeah, that's how it be. That's how it be. If you like my video, please subscribe and like. And also holler at the website, show some love. Come chillax.